Hello, this is Ollie's Movie Madness, and I'm going to be doing a movie review of Monkey Man. This film is tremendous. The storyline is very dark, and it's very similar to, The Punisher, because it focuses around a character wanting revenge on the people who have wronged him, and the storyline is really interesting because you focus on this guy named Kid. He is this underground fighter, and he starts having flashbacks of his mother, and he starts having PTSD of the guy who killed his mother, that being Rana, who burned her to death. So he decides to seek vengeance on him to avenge the death of his mother. Then you have this guy named Baba who wants to take all of the Indians' homes away and just torture them so he can expand his empire. So it's up to Kid to seek revenge on Rana for the death of his mother and take down Baba to protect the citizens of his hometown. And that's basically what the story for this film is. Very fun, very brutal, and very entertaining. The performances are all great. Dev Patel gives the best performance of the entire film as Kid. He just gives a very raw and nail-biting performance. You can just tell he's just having a lot of fun. And the character of Kid, you really feel bad for because he had to watch his mother be brutally burned to death by Rana. And the scene where he had that flashback of his mother being killed is so brutal and so disturbing to watch that you just want Kid to take his anger out on Rana and just kill him. And he does. He really does do that. Sharply Copley, who plays Tiger, he does a glorious job at this character. You know, Tiger, the character who enjoys roasting Kid, he's this horrible and despicable referee who just says how much of a loser he is, saying that he can't accomplish anything. And the scene where he just tells the crowd to just boo at Kid and just throw stuff at him is, yes, it's mean-spirited, but he just relishes, he just enjoys treating Kid like garbage. So you can tell that Sharply Copley had a lot of fun at this character. Pinto Bash, who plays Kid's friend Alfonso, he does a glorious job. He probably gives the funniest performance of the entire film. You know, the scene where he says, "Oh, if you win, you don't win anything, but if you lose, you'll lose everything." And Kid is like, "That's the point. I have to lose in order to build up my strength to take down the guy who killed my mother." And that was a really funny but really darkly comedic scene. And both him and Dev Patel have a lot of fun chemistry with each other. The villain played by Sakar Akur. He does a glorious job and quite possibly a tremendous job at this character. You know, he does such a great job of making you hate Rana because Rana is a self-centered dick. The way I can describe him, he's kind of this movie's version of the High Evolutionary, you know, a guy who doesn't really give a shit about anything but himself. You know, he enjoys torturing Indians. He just enjoys it. He relishes in the fact. And you just want this asshole to die, and he does. Kid beats the living tar out of him and even stabs him in the head, and he just dies in the bar. It's very bloody, very brutal, and I think Rana is up there with Cassandra Nova as one of the best villains of 2024, but I wouldn't compare him to Cassandra Nova. I would mostly compare him to Warlord Dementus from Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, because both of them killed the main character's mother, and both of them are really hateful and despicable characters. And both him and Dev Patel have a lot of awesome chemistry with each other. The action sequences are very bloody. The bar fights, the that final battle that takes place like in Rana's like penthouse was a really brutal and gory action sequence that it's essentially the final battle. And even the first action sequence where he's like training was a really awesome scene. The fight scenes in the ring are also awesome. This is essentially basically 2024's version of The Punisher. But easily the best thing about this movie is the directing by Dev Patel. Because this was his passion project. Because this movie was in development since 2018. They originally wanted this movie to go on Netflix, but Dev Patel didn't want it to go on Netflix because after Jordan Peele saw the movie, he said, no, this movie can't be a Netflix original. This has to be a theatrical release movie. And I can totally understand that because he put so much heart and so much emotion into this film. He does such a great job of making you feel sorry for Kid. He gives Kid a very powerful and suspenseful but amazing character arc. He makes a villain that you really hate because Rana could have been a very generic racist, a generic villain who's not entertained, but somehow Patel just develops him really well because not only is Rana is a bigot, he's also a corrupt politician because he believes that, if I torture all these people, I'll be seen as the good guy and people will respect me. And that just makes that already makes Rana one of the most despicable villains of 2024. So I think Dev Patel did a glorious job of directing this film. So in conclusion, I really love this film. It's brutal. The storyline is really emotional. The actor who plays Kid's mentor, which I forgot the actor's name, he did a glorious job. The scene where he tells them never to give up and pursue your revenge and avenge your mother was a really powerful and emotional scene. I like how most of this movie has an Indian cast. It's actually really interesting how a movie that has not many notable actors makes it better. If you put unknown actors in your movie, it makes your movie a lot better. Again, the fight scenes are amazing, the climax. Baba is also another disgusting piece of shit villain who, much like Rana, you love to despise, you love to rip on. The actor does a glorious job of playing this character. So I can go on and on of why I think this is a really fun film. But in the end, I'll leave you with this best action film of 2024. I give this film a 10 out of 10. So that is my review on Monkey Man. Hope you guys enjoyed.